Here's your tutorial to taking your complete assembly of your Automata Cube and turn it into a laser engraver file. So what you're going to do is, after you have your assembly complete, you're going to go up to the new quick icon in the upper left hand corner. You're going to select standard.idw and hit create. In here, this gives us a sheet of a border and a title block in the lower right hand corner. What we need to do is set the size of the paper to the size of the wood that we're going to be able to put inside the laser engraver. So to do this, you're going to go over to the left where it says Sheet 1. You're going to right click. You're going to go to Edit Sheet. And for size, we're going to change that to Custom Size. And the custom size is going to be 12 in height and 24 in width. Go ahead and hit OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to delete the extraneous information here. So we're going to go over to the default border, right click, delete, and then the ANSI large, right click, delete, and I'll get rid of the title block. Now we have a blank canvas in which to put all of our different views. So we can start to put in each of our views for our different sides, our side, our top, bottom, and back. So we're going to select base. And the first item it brings in is our assembly here. You can use the view cube to rotate it around, but this is not what we want. We actually want the individual parts. So over here in the drawing view dialog box, we're going to select the little open existing file icon. And you're going to navigate to your Automata Cube folder. And in that folder, you can start with any of them. Let's just start in alphabetical order. We'll go back. So we'll click open. And you want to make sure this is a 1-to-1 scale. This is very important that we get the right dimensions. You're just going to click and hold and drag this kind of up to the upper left hand corner. And you can move this box around, but you want to keep it open as you're positioning it. So I'm going to move it up here to the left, and I'm going to make sure it's 1-to-1, and I'm going to hit OK. Next, I'm going to click base, and I'm going to bring in the bottom. So kind of the same way, select the open existing icon, select bottom, hit open, and now when we bring in the bottom, it actually shows it in the front view orientation, or what the bottom would look like. So we're going to go to the view cube and click on the top arrow so we can see the bottom side. We're going to move that into position. Make sure it's 1-to-1, hit OK. We'll go click base again, open existing file, we have side, we're going to hit open, and we're going to move this one right next to the other one. Again, 1-to-1, hit OK. Base, we're going to click side again because there are two sides to our box. So we're bringing two sides, go ahead and hit OK. And we have one last piece, and that is going to be the top. So we're going to select the top. Top is in the wrong orientation, so we're just going to click the top of the view cube so we see the top view of it. And we're going to move this into the bottom left hand corner and hit OK. All this extra space is space you're going to use for later in your Automata Cube project next semester. So now that we have all of our pieces of our cube, we're going to do a few changes to this to get it ready for the laser engraver. First, we have to get it ready for a program called Adobe Illustrator. We're going to bring this into Adobe Illustrator, which will help us create the laser file. So first what we're going to do is we're going to set all of our lines correctly. To do that, we're going to go into our settings for this document. So we're going to go to the Manage tab, and inside the Manage tab we're going to click Styles Editor. And in the Styles Editor, we're going to go down to the Layers, and we're going to click the plus symbol next to it. And then we're going to go all the way down to Visible. And inside Visible, when we click on Visible, this is going to show all our different layers. And you can see here there's a pencil right next to Visible. That means we're editing it. And we're going to change the color to red. And you want to select this red. Hit OK. And then for the line weight, we're going to change this to 0.001. And we're going to go ahead and hit Save and Close. What that should do is, if you zoom in and out, it should set everything up. All of these sides are in red, and if you do have any text on here, you can highlight that text and you can change it to black or back to black. Right now I'm just going to kind of show the red letters. Once we have all of these red lines, we're ready to move to Illustrator. So we're going to go to File, Export, and PDF. So we're going to create a PDF of this. It's just one sheet, and you can save this in your folder, and we can create, so we're going to call this Laser Cut Box. So you can call this Laser Cut Box. Go ahead and hit Save, and you won't have this. I already have this. So you're just going to go ahead and save that. Once you have that saved, we have to do a few steps inside another program to get it ready for the laser engraver. You're going to go to the Start menu in the lower left hand corner, and you're going to start to type in Illustrator. So that's ILLU, and then a program should show up that says Adobe Illustrator CC 2017. You're going to click on this program, and you're going to wait a bit because it is a very large program, so it's going to take a little bit to open. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, wait for it to be open, and then I'll rejoin you guys. Now that Adobe Illustrator is open, you're going to go to the upper left hand corner, and you're going to select File, and you are going to select Open, and you're going to find the file you just created. So for me, Laser Cut Box. You're going to click on that and select Open. The document might be zoomed in, so if you hold Alt on your keyboard and use the scroll wheel, you can scroll out. Now, it might not look like anything is there on your screen. You can certainly see some paths on my screen. Here we have just a few options to change. What you want to do is pretty much just kind of drag a box over any space, and you're going to see this bounding box that shows up. We're going to right click once we have that bounding box, and we're going to select Release Clipping Mask. When you do that, you can actually see that everything is released. It's just an Illustrator type of way to draw things, but it now has the clipping mask released. I'm going to click on the outside, and then I'm just going to kind of drag a box over the lower corner. This won't select any of my parts, but I want to get rid of this box, so I'm just going to hit Delete, and I'm going to click and drag over my entire box again, and you can see here it's only creating a bounding box around my few pieces here. I'm going to double check a few things. So first, I want to make sure that my stroke is red. Down here, there is two icons. There is the fill of a line and there's a stroke of the line. Whichever one you click will be activated on top. So I'm going to click down here to make sure my stroke is on top of the fill, and then I just double click it. And then inside the color picker, I don't want to change anything if I don't have to, but I'm going to look at the RGB, or the red, green, brown color scales, and I just want to make sure my red is 255 and my green and blue are 0. If they are, I hit OK. And then underneath here for my stroke, I just want to make sure this says 0 or it says 0.001. Either one is fine. Now that everything looks good, file looks great, I'm going to go up to File, Save As, inside Illustrator, Save As Type. I'm going to change this to an Illustrator EPS, Encapsulated PostScript. This is the type of file type our laser engraver likes to see. So again, you can kind of see that I already have one here from earlier. I don't need this one because I'm making a new one, so I'm going to delete that. But here's one. Illustrator EPS, I'm just calling it Laser Cut Box, and I'm going to hit Save. Not done yet, because now it wants to know what version we want to save it as. Unfortunately, CorelDRAW is the program used on our laser engraver, and we just need to change the compatibility of this. So you're going to select on the version, and I go all the way to Illustrator 3 EPS. It might have a little kind of caution symbol. That's fine. We're saving in a legacy format because the older file format we save it as, it'll be easier for CorelDRAW to open it up. So we're going to go ahead and hit Save. Saving this document in older format will convert all the types. That's fine. Go ahead and hit OK. And it will now write the EPS to our file. And this is the file that you want to go ahead and use for your laser engraver and the next step.